This nuclear bomb tested by Russia in 1961 in the Arctic is the largest ever, 50 megatons, more powerful than all the bombs dropped in World War II, including Hiroshima and Nagasaki. More than 2,000 nuclear tests have now been conducted around the planet. There are still nearly 25,000 nuclear bombs, 4,000 on hair-trigger alert, threatening the whole world. Now, the new American administration of Barack Obama has proposed to end all tests and move at last toward a world without nuclear bombs.
I state clearly and with conviction America's commitment to seek the peace and security of a world without nuclear weapons.
At the United Nations, there is a new sense of hope. For 5 years, there has been growing international alarm over the failure of the last Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference in 2005, when the Bush administration had blocked consensus. That frustration and even despair over stalled nuclear disarmament has given way to a wave of relief and optimism among the vast majority of the world's nations and the world's peoples, as the United Nations prepares for the next Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference next year, NPT 2010. Celebrities, including actor Michael Douglas and model Christy Brinkley, joined with UN officials, diplomats, and civil society leaders and experts to welcome the possibilities of a sea change toward a nuclear-free world.
The world is now poised for changes for the better. The moment of opportunity is now.
The arrival of Barack Obama in the White House is a transformational moment in international politics, the magnitude of which we have not seen since the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989.
I hope that many of you felt the thrill when this past April we heard the presidents of Russia and the United States say together, we committed our two countries to achieving a nuclear-free world.
Joining Michael Douglas is the world's leading disarmament official, Sergio Duarte, the UN High Representative for Disarmament.
Sometimes I say that if we don't do something about the climate, life on Earth as we know it may disappear in a few decades. And then I say if we don't do something about disarmament, life on Earth may disappear in a few seconds.
At a small informal round-table luncheon at the United Nations Delegates' Dining Room, hosted by the War and Peace Foundation, a small group of disarmament experts from leading non-governmental organizations representing civil society, the people in whose name the UN was founded, met with UN disarmament officials and the guest of honor, Brazilian Ambassador Sergio Duarte. After disarmament posts including China, Rome, Geneva, and Washington, he was elected chairman of the Board of Governors of the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, in 1999, and now as UN High Representative for Disarmament. He will be in charge of the verification, securing, dismantling, and storage of all the world's nuclear weapons and the materials to make them. It is a considerable task. If yours is not the hardest job in the world, certainly
There must be some hard work.
well, the implications of success and failure, the disparity could not be greater. That is, if you completely succeed in your mission, the result will be a world without nuclear weapons and with safeguards to ensure that there will be none ever again. Complete failure, on the other hand, would mean, to use that grotesquely polite phrase, nuclear exchange, and the possibility of nuclear winter and the return of the planet to the insects. So I guess we're here to wish you well. And to offer whatever help we can to ensure you are successful.
Well, I take my cue from what you said, we the people, to say that this is also in the Charter of the United Nations, as you know. And we, people who work in the United Nations, we are also people.
I think we do have an opportunity now, the NGOs and the governments, with also the important role of the United Nations, and we have got to take it. This is the time.
I am feeling hopeful about the new administration, and I would like to see nuclear disarmament serve as the leading edge of a global trend towards demilitarization and redirection of resources to meet human needs and to save the planet.
So long as we are under this threat of nuclear annihilation, we'll never cooperate in the ways that we need to really address persistent poverty. So it's that message that I really hope we can get out in these next coming years that are marked by hope and change in ways that I have never ever seen. We not only have an opportunity for a modicum of change, but I think actually grand strides, not just nuclear disarmament, but the rule of law and other peace and social justice issues. So I am very excited for this moment in time.
So I'm very hopeful because now there's a president in the United States who's come forward and said he wants to have a treaty banning nuclear testing, a treaty stopping the production of any more fissile materials to make nuclear weapons, create an inventory to control all of these materials.
There has been a draft of that treaty which shows how it could be done.
The former commander of the American nuclear fleet in the Pacific, Admiral Noel Geiler, once said, "The way to get rid of the bombs is to get rid of the bombs." The Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty is designed as the first necessary step to that end. Kennedy Graham, advisor to the then Secretary General Kofi Annan, and now leader of the Parliamentary Green Party in New Zealand, Aotearoa.
Nuclear weapons are a creation of humanity. They are a product of human ingenuity and human political structure. If they're the product of humanity and governments, they can be resolved by humanity and governments.
We have agreed made agreements about nuclear warheads, nuclear vehicles.
This starts with the reduction of our own nuclear arsenals. As the world's two leading nuclear powers, the United States and Russia must lead by example, and that's what we're doing here today. We have signed a joint understanding for a follow-on treaty to the START agreement that will reduce our nuclear warheads and delivery systems by up to a third from our current treaty limitations, and hopefully can move even beyond that in subsequent agreements and treaties.